All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we are at beautiful Smith Lake here in Coleman, Alabama. You ready over there?
Yes, we're here in the kitchen studio.
Kitchen studio, looking at the water out there. What little I can see through these nasty windows.
Hopefully, we won't be at the kitchen studio forever. We've made leaps and bounds in the last week.
Yes. If you guys haven't seen what the progress we're making on the shed studio out there, go take a look at it on our Facebook page or Instagram page. I don't know if I made a TikTok on it. I don't think I did make a TikTok, but maybe I should. I don't know. It seems like we got more people on it than we do anything else. Most of them are strippers and Nigerian guys pretending to be women, but still got a lot of them. But no, it's grown. We got over 550 people, and most of them I've vetted.
Well, that's not bad.
I kick 10 or 15 off every morning drinking a cup of coffee because they're half-naked women. Actually, they're not women, half-naked women pictures, because you can go and look and see where they're from. They'll be from Nigeria. And I don't have them, even if they're that, there's plenty of nice ladies out there that hunts that still may be out in a swimsuit or something. You know, you got to vet them. They're right. I mean, Hannah, what's her name?
Barron.
Hannah Barron, don't she do the catfishing and all that kind of stuff? I mean, you can't just go by a quick picture. I try to look into them. Anyway, not that, but we do have a special guest coming on in a few minutes, so that we wanted to take a minute or two before we got him on there and just kind of give a recap of the 41st annual Deer Expo. What do they call it? Whitetail Deer Expo?
Deer and Turkey Expo.
No, they don't call it turkey no more.
They don't?
No.
Oh, no, it's just the World Deer Expo.
World Deer Expo.
Yeah.
Largest deer expo in the world, they said, but I don't know if that's true. It's a good claim. I ain't going to doubt him. Bob Coker, he knows what he's doing. Need a pro staff, Bob Coker. Anyway, his daughter got back in the band, Sweet Tea or whatever it's called. I saw that this morning. I was looking. He was proud. I don't know if she had quit the band or they'd had a problem, broke up, but she's back in it anyway. So, and they can sing. He's got some daughters that can sing. But we did go to the expo Saturday and saw a lot of people.
Lots of people. Talked to a lot of good friends we haven't seen in a while. Running into Steve Green. We haven't seen him in a couple of years.
Yes, and we're going to get Steve on one of these, and we do need to not wait till the 11th hour before we call him, but we can set him up. I actually sent a message out to Redbeard today, telling him I'd love to have him on. I haven't heard back, but that's not unusual for him not to look at his messages. So, maybe, he'll say yes or no. And then we got some other people that we will get on.
Yeah.
Anyway, talk about the deer show. Did you see anything you liked, didn't like?
Well, we bought we bought more stuff really for the studio than we did for ourselves, minus T-shirts. And
I know.
We always leave with a truckload of T-shirts. And
I went in there saying I wasn't going to spend any money, nothing I needed. I knew I'd buy a shirt or something. When I say any money, no big money. And the first thing I walked up on was that display there where they had all the turkey fan, what do you call those blanks where you put your fans and that kind of stuff. And they had, it looked like the old National Wild Turkey Federation logo had those three turkeys walking, and I said, I got to have it. So that was $75 right out of the gate in the get-go.
Then I bought us a 3-fan display from the same people. And
so there we was, deep into that. Of course, T-shirt. I found one I liked, and that was the only one I was going to buy. And then I found another one I liked, and then you found one you liked, and I liked it too. And then my wife bought me some dressy turkey shirts.
I got one.
Went by the Light Boot Company's.
Had to have some of their camp boots.
I bought a pair of their camp boots. Did you order a pair yet? They didn't have your size. I didn't know if you ain't gonna buy none.
Oh, I'm going to. I got to replace my old camp boots. I've had them so long they've dry rotted.
Well, I've got a pair of lacrosse.
That's what I got.
But they're heavy.
Well,
they're
mine's
heavy.
just old. I mean, I've had them since lacrosse came out with them.
I'll give you them in there if you want them. I ain't gonna wear them. But You can try them on anyway. They may not fit you because I do wear a little bit smaller size, but sometimes I buy them bigger and don't pay no attention. But yeah, we ran into. I think we talked to Kerry Marsh at Spur, and of course we saw Eddie Salter. And that's where Steve Green showed up at. And
Talked to Mark Brunner,
and didn't get to say nothing to his wife. She was too busy selling their woodworking stuff. And guys, if y'all haven't seen what Mark and Misty are doing, they make some beautiful furniture and some
Cutting
wonderful
boards
cutting
and-
boards. And we ended up buying it's really a wall plaque.
cut out of a root ball,
Cut out of a root ball, had a beautiful engraved wild turkey.
sitting on a limb gobbling. We had to have that.
We got old Eddie to sign that and autograph it like he had done the work on it. But anyway, just to get the man to sign
Hayden,
something.
you got to meet Dave Owens.
Oh yeah. Not my hero.
Super nice guy.
He
though.
was very nice. Very cordial. Of course, you got to suck up a little bit. Like to get you on the podcast. Oh yeah, just give me a call. He didn't offer his phone number though. I noticed.
Just message me.
Message me. That's what he said. But you know what? We know somebody that's got his phone number. We know somebody that probably gives him a call and whispers to him that I love you, Dave. I love you. Let me blow on my wing bone or my trumpet and let you know my feelings for you. So anyway, we took a picture. I was hoping maybe make him a little jealous, and he knows I'm kidding with him. And we'll see them all again next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming up August 3rd, we'll be in Tuscaloosa. Is it August 3rd?
Yeah,
That's the
August
3rd.
3rd.
At the, I forgot the name of the calling contest again. I'd have to look at it, but y'all all know if you listened last week. We'll say it again before the show ends, probably. We'll bring it up because
Alabama Memorial.
something. Anyway, we're going to be there. We ain't calling, but we'll be represented. So, and fine caller she is. Hopefully,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited, and she's nervous.
Yeah, well, I messaged her and she said that she's been practicing, and the biggest thing about this is just going down there and seeing friends and hang out with friends
That's
and have
all
a good
this
time.
is for us.
And I'm going to be honest, I've never even been to a turkey calling contest. I mean, I've watched some at the NWTF and stuff when we've been there, but I mean, I know it's like a little close knit family, so it's going to be pretty cool to see a lot of those guys.
Yeah, we'll see all the brother in arms and sister in arms, children, because they got a Jake's division or Pope. What do they call it? Popes.
Popes.
It's NWTF that has the Jake's membership level. I guess that's where I got that from. But anyway, let's unless you got something else to talk about on the deer show. I mean,
No, I mean, I think that pretty much covered
well,
it.
we did see our good friends with Legacy. Let's not forget
Yeah.
to mention them.
Yeah.
We hung out with them
Got to
most of
see
the
May
show.
May.
See May's beautiful little, what is she, a Cocker Spaniel? Something? I don't know what she is.
I don't know. She's soft. That's all I know. She's soft and
well-behaved.
she's well behaved.
But Roger and William and the whole crew. So, yeah, I had a great time with them. Helped them sell a few calls and
Bought a few things.
bought a
as
few
usual.
things. Oh, yeah, I got a striker in there. I got to get out and go put in it's still in my backpack. So I got to get it put in my bottomland call case. Not none of that real tree stuff, Alex. But anyway, let's get our guest on the line here and see what we have to say. It's going to be another good one about summertime, trapping and all this kind of stuff. So let's give him a listen and see what he's got to say.
Hey, Jared, are you still with us?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm great. Waiting on tomorrow, Friday.
Yes, sir. Everybody's working for the weekend.
I'm off tomorrow. I'm headed to Panama City tomorrow morning.
Lucky.
I got to come home Sunday. It ain't
Short trip.
but it is. I mean, I'm getting out of town. But,
Be careful and have fun.
oh yeah, we will. I'll spend money. I'm sure my wife, she likes to spend money.
So we're here tonight with Jared Smith. Jared, give us a little bit about your background and what all you're into, because I know you're into a lot of things.
Yes, sir. God and family first, but
Amen.
mostly turkey killing and my trapping company, Wild Man's Hammer Time, and nuisance trapping and do some deer hunting, do anything outdoors, fishing. Got a little 9-year-old autistic son, Jacob, and we call him Wild Man. And he's with me all the time. He's been walking in woods since he was 1, buddy. And we just stay busy doing that. I work full time for another company, but that's about it.
Well, I know right where you at. I got a 8-year-old autistic grandson, and he is my world.
They're special, buddy.
They're very special.
I know he keeps you busy in the woods. He's always fishing and hunting and doing, ain't he?
Yes, sir, he is. If I do it, he's trying to do it. He's a trapper, and he does all that stuff. He's caught 9-pound bass. He's killed 4 gobblers. He's a go-getter. Wow. He doesn't stop, but yes, sir. He's fun.
I tell you what, he's making a name for himself in the trapping world already at 9 years old.
Yeah. He loves it. So he finds their tracks. He gets down close to the road, and he finds where they're crossing roads and log crossings and, creek crossings and where they're eating the stuff. He finds all that, and he see little toenail marks I can't see. He'll say, "Daddy, right here." And I'll look, and there's a little trail. We'll set a trap right there, and then, he's awesome like that. He say the last 3 or 4 years, he's probably seen, every time he was with me, he's seen the turkeys before I have. And that's amazing because I'm taller than him, and he's sitting down between my legs, but he'll see them and he'll pinch my leg or something. Their senses are crazy, man.
You're right about that. But it's amazing what they can pick up on that we can't. That you don't even know you can't pick up on until you realize they're seeing or hearing or something's going on.
I swear, I think he's park gobbler or something.
But that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on. It's the middle of summer and people are bored, and it's really a good time to get out there and start trapping them coons and that kind of stuff, taking care of your wildlife. You like to hunt, with the poults being, most of them are up, I guess, in Alabama now about flying, but there is some late hatches and that kind of thing. People like to take care of their turkeys, and people don't like seeing those coons in their deer feeders during deer season. It's a great time to get out there while you're bored and set some traps and get some stuff done.
It is, and it's good exercise, and it's good bonding with your kids, and it helps the wildlife just unbelievably, and saves you on your deer feed and all that stuff. And I don't care if you cover up Wild Man's Hammer Time with corn, they will find it. It's amazing. A lot of my customers are deer hunters that use it around feeders, and they said they don't care what they have out there, they'll find that coon in there in the morning.
That's amazing.
Beehive people, people that raise bees, they love it because it says it'll stop them before they get there. And a lot of bird watchers and backyard people get it, and it's really neat. A lot of nuisance trappers are buying my stuff now. That word of mouth. We don't have a website yet, but we're in a few stores, and just word of mouth has just exploded, and it makes everybody, I guess, a better trapper. It made me a better trapper, but it's really easy. You just put it, right to the trigger in the DP trap, and anybody can do it, kids and women. And next morning you have a coon there waiting on you. So it's really fun. And man, just the damage they do to turkey nests. Wow. That's why we started Wild Man's Hammer Time, because being huge turkey hunters, we wanted to protect the nest. And some of the baits I was using, I've tried everything under the sun over the years since I was 8 years old. Some stuff works, and some stuff that does work is really messy and hard to carry with you and stuff like that. So we created Wild Man's Hammer Time, especially for DP traps, but it works miracles in cage traps. And it just gives you a good, strong crawfish smell, just real permeating smell. And our lures, they're full of the great ingredients. It's expensive to make, but it's really good stuff that's been used for years. But
you mainly just sell basically word of mouth and, different Facebook groups and that kind of thing. Is that how you're doing it right now?
Yes, sir. Right now, just Facebook mostly. And, but we're starting a website. We got our LLC and all that good stuff. And we're fixing to hit a lot of stores and hopefully get in a bunch of them. But
that's the reason I asked. I got a good friend. He really traps his property. I mean, he traps it hard. But he's not a Facebooker or any of that kind of stuff. So I didn't know if there's a way people that maybe listen to the podcast but don't do Facebook or that kind of thing. Is there a way they get a hold of you? They just
Yeah, I can get my number or something like that, or wait for the website. It ain't going to be long. They
Okay.
can just look up Hammer Time.
That sounds
But
like a
we're in a few
plan.
stores out. So we're in Mark's Outdoors and a few other few stores around Alabama.
You're
Right.
already in Mark's?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
good. I'll tell him about it because he's always, all he does, he puts, I don't know how many, he's got dozens of DP traps, but, he don't put down a whole lot of center, throw a few marshmallows out. That's all he does. And, that's not going to get you
Yep.
one in every trap.
Yes, sir. Word of mouth. It's got us. People's calling me and asking for it. So we're very blessed there,
Well, I noticed where on one of your posts you had said you've got people using as far as Ohio. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oregon to New York to Florida. We're in over 35 states now.
Wow.
It caught over 10,000 raccoons and possums last year, estimated.
I assume
it's
it would work on skunks as well. Up here where I live, it's covered up in skunks.
It pairs foxes up, gray foxes and red fox. It's for some reason they love it, and it's just a little crunch bait, but it'll get rained on and it'll get soft, but they still tear it up. Foxes love it. Caught coyotes on it, skunks, pretty much everything. We got pictures of bears going to it, turtles,
Turtles?
all kinds of birds, everything. Because turtle, I guess that's
that crawfish, I guess.
Yeah, crawfish has got several different fish smells and fish ingredients in it. So, but it's very essential to trap. I don't care what nobody says, man. You can see studies where the turkeys are really flourishing in places that people trap.
Yes, I've seen that. I don't get to hunt his land. Of course, he's a turkey hunter, so you know how we all are about our spots. So I went out there with him when he first got started and hunted a couple of times on his little farm he's got. But I had been invited back in the last 4 or 5 years. So yeah, but he started trapping hard, and all of a sudden he had turkeys everywhere. I mean, he had a few turkeys, but then all of a sudden, you start seeing the poults because the nest are making it. So.
Exactly.
And you also nuisance trap and trap on your own, I guess on your own land or property you hunt. But what would you suggest to the guy that's never trapped, that's got a place he wants to trap? What would you tell him to do to get started?
Well, the first thing I tell them to do is get a dozen DP traps, and I prefer DP traps. They're what I've used since they come out, and I love them. But get a dozen of those, get your anchoring system. You can get cables already made, or you can make your own little cables and make a loop in it big enough where you trap and slide through it. That way you can just go right around a tree and do it fast and put your trap through that loop and pull it tight. And that works great for me. Or you can use earth anchors. So you have to get your anchoring system for them 12 traps. And then buy some Wild Man's Hammer Time, of course. Or whatever you want to do.
No. Hey, well, you're on here. That's what they need. So,
yeah. And definitely, get a variety of lures, different smells, and I guess really with the raccoon trapping, you don't need much. Coyote trapping is different. You have to get a sifter and a hammer, big hammer, all kinds of stuff. Mats and stuff to kneel on, gloves, your driver for your earth anchors. You have to do a lot of different stuff for coyote trapping. So the best thing would do is watch YouTube or go with an experienced trapper, learn and see what they're doing. And you don't need too much, but you do need way more than you do with raccoons.
But starting out, but it's probably best to start with the raccoons, work your way up to them coyotes, learn a little bit of stuff.
Yes, for a couple, because one thing, it keeps them out of your traps. They'll go to your coyote traps and mess it up, and then a coyote come that night and see him and knows what's going on. So that's one reason. But another thing, when you're first starting off, it gives you a lot of experience too. You learn a lot on a coon trap line, and I catch hundreds every year, and that's one thing that you can really learn about trapping and different signs and what animals are doing. you know, when it rains and when you don't catch stuff, when you don't catch, when animals don't move. It's just really neat because you go every day. You have to by law, so you learn way more trapping than you ever do like hunting and stuff, because you're in the woods every single day, no matter what. You know, just one of the main things, and I tell everybody this, all my seminars and stuff like that, is scout. Turkeys, deer, anything you hunt. Same with trapping. Raccoons, bobcats, all that, they'll leave a little, you know, sign somewhere, roads, you know, different things, and set your trap where the wind's blowing it towards that road. That way, they'll walk that trail like they do. It might take them 3 or 4 days to come back, but when they do, that scent's going to be blowing. You know, and I like to set traps on both sides of the road, so those just don't set one trap, but I'm saying in general, and get that wind blowing to them when they cross through there, and they'll usually stop and investigate.
Is that what you do?
Okay.
You kind of stagger them up a road, you know, one on one side and then go a little ways up and set another one on the other side, or you put them just parallel from each other?
I put them about 10, 15 yards apart, but, you know, catty corner across the road like that. And then kind of depending on the terrain too, like and curves and different stuff like that. But if you got like a good inside of a curve going around a dirt road and it's a good little spot and you see tracks crossing there, set one there and then set one kind of like 10 yards down a little bit where the wind will benefit you a little bit. But just keep on just looking for your tracks and sit there. Every time I found fox tracks last year, I pretty much caught one, just putting it right in his way and using scat and stuff like that and surrounding grass cuffs and putting it right here and put your little turd right here where they have to kind of walk in between that grass tuft and that turd, and then put your little scent, you know, in that grass tuft, just enough to stop them. And then whenever you put your paint after you bed your trap, just always put your little dirt clod right on each side of the pan, but not inside the jaws, and make sure it's a dirt clod, not a rock or a stick. And that way they'll step in between there. So I kind of have to show you, but if anybody knows anything about trapping, they know what I'm talking about.
Well, you've put on a few seminars. Tell us about that. You said you hope you get another one this coming, I guess, winter, fall, spring. I don't know when y'all do them.
Yeah, we do it. We've done it twice so far, and we started it for the kids. And it grew. A lot of people donated turkey calls. You know, I'm on Houndstooth Pro staff and Jeb's Chokes Pro staff, Mossy Oaks Pro staff. They all donated stuff, you know, and lots of other people joined in and donated turkey calls and just Yeti cups, anything like, you know, just lots of stuff. And the kids had a blast. We had Wild Hog barbecue. The Brenners made barbecue breakfast. It was awesome, man.
Well, at the Deer Expo last weekend, we was talking to Mark, and he was all excited about that trapping seminar and talking about hoping he got to do it again this year. So,
yeah, I love that family.
We're
family
going. Is there any better people?
Man, he's really helped me. You know, just learning and stuff. And he actually bought my first order of Hammer Time from me. He bought 12 pints from me. So he's an awesome dude, and his wife's awesome. I love him, guys.
And you was telling us earlier you're basically nationwide now. You've got that in how many states now?
Over 35 we've caught in, but a lot of it was just starting off and giving it out and stuff like that, you know. And so just to get people to try it, and it just kind of grew from there. And I got people far as Oregon all the way to New York asking me about it. Idaho, farmers in Idaho telling me, man, I hear you have some of the best stuff out there. I'm like, wow, Facebook is crazy, because how else would he know about that? You know, it's just neat. So word of mouth, it's a good product, and it spreads, you know. So if he catches, you know about it.
Yeah, word of mouth, some of the best advertising you could ever have. I mean, when you have somebody look somebody in the eye and tell them that's what to get, that's better than any commercial you could ever have on TV or the radio.
Oh man, gives me tingles thinking about it, that they like my stuff, you know. But it's all about saving them turkeys.
Exactly. That's our main focus. I mean, we try to talk a little bit of everything here, but we always seem to roll back to what our passion is, and that's turkey hunting and turkey killing. Yep. So we know all about it, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted you on here. I was hoping we get some of these turkey hunters or any hunter, or just a bird, like you said, a bird watcher. They don't want something raiding their nest. Get out there and get going and get get that hammer time and take them coons and possums and skunks and everything else out of the way.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you a funny story. There's an old lady down the road here, just a friend, and I do it for free because she's just on disability. But she has a beautiful little backyard, fenced in, privacy fence. It's not big at all, a tiny backyard, but she has 2 bird feeders back there. She told me that they kept bending her bird feeder, so I figured I'd go over there and catch 1 or 2. First night, I caught 3 monsters, all pushing 20 pounds. I said, oh, man, I had 4.
Wow.
I had 3 traps out, 3 20-pounders in there. So I reset, caught 2 more the very next night. Went back, caught 2 more the very next night. The end of the week, we caught over 20 in that backyard and several possums. So it's I could see where people have a problem, living next to woods and stuff like that. But, that bird feeder was bringing them in there.
Well, with the collapse of the fur market, the true trappers for profit, they're just not there no more. There's nothing to keep them in check but us now, the hunters and just the outdoorsmen. You don't have to hunt to trap. If you just love your outdoors, you should be out there trying to do it.
Exactly. I love all the animals, man. So,
yeah, I can't wait till we get in on how you got started turkey hunting and when you got started.
Well, let's get into it. There ain't no need to there ain't no reason to wait. Let's go now. Damn, I got a gnat in my drink. Boys, I'm sorry. I'm up here trying to fish it out.
I love trapping, but I'm in love with turkey hunting now. But back in 1986, I was in just got to high school in 9th grade. And tall, skinny boy, he said, you ever turkey hunted? I said, no, I ain't never turkey hunted. Well, I love deer hunting and anything outdoors, but we went first time, man. We got up in there and he hit a box call 3 times, and a turkey flew out of the tree and landed right in front of us, and I shot it with a 20 gauge. First time I ever turkey hunted, and I was like, my God, that was awesome. That was so fun, So went with my buddy, another buddy in school, and we was walking one day, a whole different fella. He had a box call. We was walking down the road. We saw some cross the road. He hit it 3 times. Yow, yow, yow. All of a sudden, we sat down. 4 big old gobblers come in there. I was hunting with a 10 gauge then, single shot. They come on in there. Well, I raised it up. My buddy's eyes got real big. I couldn't see the 4 gobblers to my right. All I could see was a Jake. I didn't know really much difference. I just saw a turkey, and I squeezed the trigger. Boom! And I took off running. I was so happy. It was the best turkey in the world at the time. And 4 big old gobblers just flew up. And he got upset. He said, why'd you shoot that one? But I was so happy. Well, it was I'm talking about it. I was so happy. It was like the biggest turkey in the world to me. And anyways, we went pretty much every day after that, and all the way through high school and when I graduated and stuff. But before I had a license, everybody wanted to deer hunt. Not too many people turkey hunted around here, so just a lot of the old timers and a few of my friends. So we'd go deer hunting with these dogs, and they'd let the dogs go, and we'd run, and man, we jumped turkeys like crazy. And that's all I was studying. But they always told me, you better not ever shoot a turkey, running dogs, you get in trouble. So we'd go pack up around lunchtime, and everybody would go home. Well, it would kill me so bad that I would beg my mama to go drop me off. And I'm talking about just a kid, and she would go over there and drop me off, and I'd go out there and I'd go find where them turkeys were, and I'd call them all up in, and they'd be scattered out, and they'd come in there. And we had a fall season in Shelby County. I would tear them turkeys up during the fall, and that's how I really started turkey hunting, was fall hunting. But spring come around, and man, we went hunting from one end of Bibb County, Autauga County, Shelby, Chilton, growing up all around here, and hunting in the national forest, all the management areas, anywhere we could, and never really had hunting clubs and stuff. So we hunted anywhere we could, and it got harder and harder to find land and different things, and you had to get in hunting clubs. And I still hunt Talladega National Forest pretty hard, and just different places. But it's that's how I got started, man. And man, I can't tell you all the turkeys I killed back then growing up and stuff, and got married, and it never left me. Deer hunting, everything comes in, but turkey hunting will just burns in my soul. So my little boy, he loves it pretty much more than anything. Like I say, we just every day I think about turkeys, but I get to rambling. So y'all just shut me up and talk, ask me a question or something.
No, we're the same exact way. I mean, we both started out deer hunting and all, but turkeys is just just our passion. I mean, I think for anybody that's a true turkey hunter, I mean, that's all they think about, whether it's summertime or wintertime or whatever. Just like you said, when you're in the woods deer hunting, I mean, you're keeping up with what birds come in there while you were deer hunting or whatever, and do a little scouting. They might move a little, but for the biggest part, you at least can take a good inventory of your birds.
Yeah, man.
But I know you said you got married and just kept on turkey hunting and all, but we had spoke a little bit earlier about some of the things you had to do and what you had to do and to make a special purchase when you was a young married man. And I definitely want to hear about old Maggie.
Woo, old Maggie. That's my gun I bought 1998, I think, or 99. I can't really remember the exact year, but it was the first week it come out, the Super Mag Advantage. So maybe somebody can tell me the Advantage camo and 3.5 inch Super Mag Express. But first year I got her, man, I killed my limit with her. The next year I killed my limit with her, and pretty much every year after that I killed the limit or close to. All the way to this year, and I'm still using them. And 52 years old, so I don't know exact count of how many turkeys got, but everybody knows old Maggie around here, and she's been dipped. When I got on Mossy Oaks Pro staff, I dipped her in greenleaf camouflage, but it was a sacrifice to buy it back then because I had twins right off the bat, and we was young and just got married and working in cabinet shop, not making much money. So what I did is I took my 4 or 5 different old guns I had, single shot 12 gauge, an old pump 22 that I wish I had back, but I'm glad I had to sell at the time, just different guns I sold, old 30-30 and stuff, and took all that money and went down there. It was in Clanton. I think it was the White Oak Outdoors or something in Clanton back then. And I went in there and I was going to get a Mossberg. And then I seen that, and the man said, they just come out this week, and these are already spoken for, and there was 3 of them there. And I said, buddy, I said, I don't have the money, but I promise you I'll give you more than they'll give you, whatever. He said, I can't do it. I was so sad. I didn't even want the Mossberg, so I started to walk out. And all I could think about was that Remington 870 there. So I was walking out, and he could tell I was sad. My wife, she was upset that we went all the way up there and stuff, so all of a sudden he said, hey, they're going to kill me, but come on back. I had the cash in my hand, and he took it. And it was like $500 or something, $470-something back then. But, man, that was a lot of money to me. So, it's probably the best thing I've ever bought as far as turkey hunting or anything like that, So I smile every time it's in my hands, buddy.
I was going to say, that's a member of the family right there. You talking about it like it's a true loved one.
It will never be replaced.
I can't put her down to go to a 20 gauge or nothing, man. I love that gun. So I started shooting them with a 20 gauge this year and killed a few, and I loved it. But every time I want to take old Maggie, so.
Now, are you still shooting 3.5s through it, or are you in a 3-inch or what?
Yeah, I shoot at 3.5s because I got several boxes of that Rogue. I'm on their pro staff too, Rogue Ammunition. So I get boxes of that TSS from them, and I use Stack Blend 8s and 9s. And so I bought a bunch of boxes, and I'm just using them up. But that 20 gauge, I love it, and I'm going to get another 20 gauge. I think I might get a Retail or something like that, or Frankie, something like that one day.
Oh, I like to hear that. I bought me one a couple of years ago, Affinity 3, and I love it. It is a turkey killing machine. If you pointed at them, I did miss one, but it wasn't a gun; it was me. So it's a killer. It's a killer. I just got tired. I was shooting I'll tell you my story. I started out when we started turkey hunting. I started turkey hunting because I didn't think you had to get up at daylight. That's why I hated getting up at, before daylight and go deer hunting. I told my brother, I said, we ought to try turkey hunting. We can just get out there and go hunt them all day. I didn't know the best time, I didn't know. But I didn't have a gun. I didn't have no gun. And my uncle had he wanted in a football pool, but it was a Remington. Oh, I can't even think of the model of it, but it's a goose gun. That thing's got a 36-inch barrel. It's a bolt action. It shoot a 3-inch Magnum, though. And I wrapped that barrel with some camouflage tape, and I'd bang trees and limbs. You couldn't tote it through the woods, but I hunted with that thing for a couple of years. Never killed nothing with it. I still ain't killed nothing with it. And finally saved up some money. And I bought me a Mossberg 835. And that was a killing machine, but I'm going to tell you what, I think I need shoulder surgery today because of that gun.
Yeah.
I upgraded to a 935 and I kept it. They're so heavy. And finally broke down once the TSS come out and that kind of thing. I got me that Frankie, and I'm going to tell you, I hadn't looked back.
I think it's that 20 gauge kill I made in Texas.
Well, yeah. We were out in Texas. Actually, Dustin saved me. I had a friend, my best friend, turkey hunting partner, deer hunting partner. He up and died on me a few years ago, and I was going to give it up. I didn't feel like being in the woods no more. And he called me up, and he had done some work for me. And we both were turkey hunters, and neither one of us would invite each other to hunt with it. Heck, you got your turkey spots, but he was working down in Louisiana and called me. I think it was like in December or January or something.
Yeah.
Out of the blue. And said, hey, you ever thought about doing the Grand Slam? Well, my old buddy Rick that had died on me, we never hunted nowhere but Alabama. He was too tight to spend any money. We had our hunting club, and it was full of turkeys. There wasn't no need to go nowhere. And I said, I don't even know if I want to hunt this year. I actually wouldn't have hunted if he hadn't called me. And he said, let's try it. I said, well, I'm in my 50s. I'm 59 now. And I said, if I'm going to do it, I ain't getting no younger. I ain't going to be able to chase them up and down them mountains somewhere. So we ended up setting us up a trip to Texas. And it was an experience. It was the first time we used somebody like that and got burnt on the first place we went. We hunted a big ranch out there, and those guys didn't care nothing about turkeys. And they wasn't no turkeys on this 6,500 acres, I think we hunted, and they wasn't 3 turkeys, and Dustin killed the only gobbler of the 3. But we were headed home. And he goes, or I looked at him. I said, look, we still got tags in our pocket, and I ain't going home. I don't want to go home. I said, I was driving. We was headed north. We was way down South Texas. I was headed toward Dallas. I said, he got on Facebook and started hunting, and he found us a boy, a good guy, super guy. And, got on the phone with him. I don't even think he thought we were serious at the time.
No, he made me check in every 30 minutes.
Yeah, he told us, he said, I'll put you on the turkeys, and he was like half the money what we'd already spent. And he said, if you get here before dark, I believe we might kill one. And man, the speed limits out there are high anyway. I'm running 85. Now I'm running 95. I'm trying to get over to whatever no man's land Texas we was going to. We was about 4.5 hours from him.
Further south.
Yeah. We kind of, we reversed course, hit a new interstate, and we were hauling butt down that road. And, we got over there, and sure enough, we went to the farm. We saw turkeys and nearly killed some that evening.
3 gobblers.
Yeah. And we set up on them, but they, it was getting late, and they was with their hens, and they were all kind of making their way to roost. And we hunted their next morning, and they got henned up. And he put us on a big old. He made a couple of calls, and we went even further south. We had to be close to Mexico. I don't know where we was at. And we was hunting a 12,000 acre ranch that never been turkey hunted, and they was turkeys everywhere. We took a picture of one. I got it on my phone. I'll post it so you can see it. But I bet there's 40 turkeys in that one tree.
Yeah,
I've never seen nothing like it. And that morning, it was crazy.
They was birds gobbling all over.
It was everywhere.
Property.
And I was hunting that tree. I wasn't close enough to it. That's what the gobblers had roosted with them hens in that one big tree. There ain't many big tall trees out in there anyway. They'll roost on a power line down that way. And I had turkeys that morning. I was crawled under a cedar bush. And I'm looking at that tree. I'm not thinking nothing about turkeys nowhere else because, like I said, there had to be 40 in that tree. And as it started getting light, I started hearing yelping. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. There was turkeys in bushes 75, 80 yards from me. There had to be another 100 of them, just all over hens. They walked by me when they flew down right by the end of my feet. No gobblers. And the gobblers were up there. The other hen, they left with all the hens. And, he came up and we hunted, and I hunted again. And a Mexican on a horse messed me up that time. And I got back up. I got back up with him, and he said, "Well, we're gonna work our way back over there. Old Dustin's done killed one." And I didn't know the story of time. Here I am, sad. I ain't killed a turkey one. He's done got two. He's done filled his tags. I think we had 2 tags.
Yeah.
And on our way to meet him, we saw some, and I any way you kill a turkey, to me, if it's legal, it's a good kill. And I had to stalk up on this one. I didn't call him. But I had to cross through some cactuses, and I'm telling you, the next year I was still pulling thorns out of my boots, but I killed that turkey. Then we got over there to Dustin. I thought I had a good story, but I'll let him tell you about his story. But that's why I said I'm going to have me a 20 gauge next year, because first off, it was half the weight of my gun, and he made an incredible shot.
Well, the guide, he was poking fun of me. He's a 3.5 12 gauge guy too, and I'd always carried a A35 myself, and I went to something lighter. And I built a little Remington 870 youth model pumps. What I did, and and so put the Sure Shot stock on it. I mean, I set it up real nice, and when I went to pattern it, even though the barrel's short, I was amazed at what kind of patterns I was getting at, like, 60 yards. So I wasn't scared to shoot, at least 60. And when we got set up that morning, we had 2 different groups of gobblers coming to us. And these would gobble a couple times. We kind of start looking that way. And then the other ones kind of to our left would start gobbling. Well, when you the ones to the left, they were making quicker time to us. And me and him actually switched cheers. I got in the left chair. He got in my seat. And when he told me, so if you see the birds before I do, let me know. Well, all of a sudden, they sound like they were coming right down the road, and they pop over this bank. Well, prior to this, I was kind of looking around, and I knew which little bush was kind of 30 yards. I was kind of getting my range down. Well, when the birds come in, it was hens. And I said, hens in front of us, and there was 8 of them. And they come by, and he said, Strutter up on the bank. And I get looking, well, he's hard right, like super hard right. So I have to switch over left-handed and turn. Well, I see my bush. So I'm like, yeah, he's 30 yards. It's perfect. Well, I shoot and roll him, and this guy jumps up. He's cheering. I said, hey, man, it's hot. I've killed turkey before. How guides are sometimes. And he said, I ain't never seen nobody make a shot that far. And I thought, 30 yards? That's a chip shot. Well, I'm looking at the wrong little mesquite bush. He runs up there. He said, you stay right there. He runs up to the bird. Now I'm talking about the bird never flopped. He was dead. And he ranges me. I'm 64 yards, left-handed with a little 20 gauge. And he's like, man, I have got to have me one of them. So we all jumped on a 20 gauge wagon after that, and I haven't regretted it yet.
No, I still got my 835, my 935, but they hadn't come out of the gun safe since then. I went and bought me that Frankie and got it set up, and I wasn't shooting TSS. I was still shooting Longbeard, out of that 3.5. It would kill them out, 30, 35 yards, 40 yards easy. Great gun.
I never
do what?
But I said to go to TSS. I always shot Longbeards, but once I tried it, I've never went back. I never will. That's amazing stuff.
Well, rarely you're going to wound one. You're going to kill it. I mean, I've chased down many of them shooting them with shooting the Longbeards. I killed my, I don't know, there ain't no telling how many with that 3.5 inch and shooting Longbeards, but they always went to flopping. But man, when you shoot them that TSS, if they're inside 30 yards, they're stone cold dead. It's just
I shot them 6 Longbeards with old Maggie several times, but went to that TSS, and last year or year before last, turkey was coming in, and a tree was so close I didn't really see it. A small pine tree. I shot, and turkey hit the ground. Wham! I ran over there and got it, and come back. I was gathering all my stuff up. I looked over there, and that tree had a hole in it. I said, "Oh my goodness!" I shot through a pine tree and just dusted that gobbler. And that TSS is bad stuff, buddy. So it's expensive, but
Hey,
yeah, it is.
but you know what? Everybody says it's expensive. It's really the cheapest thing that you carry
Yeah,
with you. That a $10 shell out of the $100 calls you tote and all those, half a dozen mouth calls and pots and everything else you tote. Yeah, you camo and your boots. I mean, my God, $10 is nothing because you don't have to pull the trigger more than once 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100. Now, Dustin has had his fair share. He's killed several trees with TSS since we've been hunting together.
Yeah, I've got trees shot up from Florida all the way to
Nebraska, nearly.
Yeah.
I mean, you took half a cedar tree down in Nebraska when you killed the turkey, but they was cedar tree limbs falling all around us. It was raining. It was raining anyway, but
pouring rain.
It was raining cedar bushes too. So yeah, it's an amazing round, and I'm just happy somebody figured it out.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, sir.
I know you told us that you haven't ever turkey hunted outside of Alabama. I mean, is there any future plans of that?
I'd love to one day, but like I've always just been kind of scared that if I went somewhere, like y'all talking about getting burnt, well, that would be like a huge investment for us. With Jake's medicine and just different things with the family, like going on vacation and stuff. I know I'd have to go on a public land, and I'd have to camp and stuff like that probably. So I would definitely like to go to Kentucky or even Tennessee or Texas, maybe get a Rio, something like that. Everybody tells me, for years people have told me, Jared, if anywhere you go in America, you kill one the first day because they say you kill them here. It's so hard to kill them here if you go anywhere, unless the weather, stuff like that. But they're just saying I wouldn't have no trouble. I'm kind of nervous that I'd have to go with somebody that knew what they were doing, would split the bills with me, gas and all that stuff, stuff like that. And definitely I would love to take me and the wild man and go do something like that one day. But
you might have to pile up with us one of these days.
Yeah,
and go.
we're going to make another public land trip to Nebraska eventually, and
Kansas too.
In Kansas,
of course, Kansas now is draw. There is. Other than getting there, Kansas and Nebraska is full. I'm talking about millions of acres of public land, not management areas, just walk-in hunting.
Yeah, it's private land that the landowners give permission through the wildlife department to hunt. And I mean, if you pick your license up, and like Anthony said, a little bit of travel expense or whatever fuel wise, but it's a different style of hunting. It's really neat, and there's quite a few birds out in that part of the world,
especially Nebraska. Kansas is a little. They have had a big decline, but I did end up killing one in Kansas, and Dustin killed one in Nebraska. So that we still got to go back because we're trying to do the 49. I'll never do it. I'm too old. I ain't got You can't hunt but a state or two a year, and I didn't think I'd really like this travel hunting, but it's so much fun getting out to somewhere new. The people are so nice, and when you get out in Kansas, Nebraska, they're not a lot of turkey hunters anyway.
We've met met a lot of good people along the way, and
we've never seen more than 1 or 2 people on any of the public land we've hunted, and we never cross paths. We just see them, way off a half a mile away or something.
Truck parked on the side of the road or something.
So it's just. Kansas, we did real good. It was kind of the same kind of hunting we do here, a little more trees where we was at. But Nebraska, we had a big learning curve. It was totally different than I didn't have a clue. We didn't know. They got these big old, I call them big hollers, but they're not a holler because all the flatlands up high.
They're almost like just big washes, like gullies, canyons.
Big gullies, canyons, whatever you want to call them. And the turkeys, if they roost, they're going to roost in the same trees every night because there ain't that many and the wind's so bad.
And these birds, birds are pitch up.
Yeah, they don't fly. They'll walk down and fly up into the tree because we found
They like a
this
lot more
tree.
calling, right?
Do what?
Don't they like a lot more calling? They like a lot more calling than these birds, or call louder.
Not well. You have to call a little louder. It's so open, especially if you get up on top. There ain't no trees or none of that kind of stuff.
And the wind's always blowing.
The wind's always blowing. But the turkeys, when they fly down, like in Nebraska where we were hunting in this walk-in area, they don't fly down. So it's not a fly down. They fly up. They fly out of that tree and up to the top of the hill because they want to get up there where they can see. They don't fly down and go up that well, heck, a mountain goat couldn't get up some of that stuff. It's weird.
So y'all try to.
So we're hunting them. We're hunting them like you do here. You get down below them, and you hear them gobble, and you're down below them on the ground, and heck, they fly out of the tree, but they fly up and they're gone. And we didn't know that for a couple of days. And finally, somebody told us, you need to be hunting up high. You call them up there to you. They gonna come. That hen's up there on the hill. They're going uphill anyway. And
My friend at work, he's a real good friend, but he's also my boss now. But he gets to travel and he hunts South Dakota, Texas, all these places. But he goes with his dad, so I don't ever really ask him to go with him. But he tells me stories when he comes back, and he's the main one telling me all the time. He said, "Buddy," he said, "you go to South Dakota." He said, "You have to walk a lot, and there's a lot of mountains and stuff." But he got his bird up there, and he gets his bird every year. In Texas, him and his dad do. He's been to several different places like that. So he tells me about it, and he says you get out of the truck, and he said you'll hear 40 of them gobble down there in Texas. He says it's amazing.
You get on the right piece of property, they're there. Now, like I said, that first ranch we went to, the guy swore all deer season and stuff. He had hundreds of turkey pictures. Well, they wasn't there in the spring.
Moved.
So they had moved, and like I said, all he was a camp cook. I mean, he drove us around the property that first day, and showed us some spots, and
track?
Yeah, I mean, we'd see a hen or two every now and then, and I got on a gobbler one day, but it was off on another piece of property, and you better not cross the, you go to jail fast in these other states. You think you're gonna slip in somewhere, which I wouldn't have done it anyway. I don't have that kind of nerve. Maybe back in my younger days when I could run faster, but not no more. But so I didn't kill. And Dustin, like I said, he killed. I think the only turkey there was us and two more people hunting that property when we was there. And I think they had heard that turkey, but Dustin ended up killing it. And we left out. We didn't hear another gobble. I didn't hear nothing. That could have been the one I was hunting. I don't know.
It wasn't far. So
yeah, we weren't far apart. And now up in South Dakota, they said they were in decline, but I don't know. I didn't see that. I saw there was turkeys everywhere, and they say there's tons of people up there, but I was listening this morning. They've reduced the out of state from 3,000 licenses to 2,000 licenses this year, but they don't have but 2,500 state hunters. So there's not a ton of turkey hunting going on in South Dakota.
Well, we rode close to 100 miles through the forest that day. It was raining, and we met one guy. Mm-hmm. If that kind of tells you in that country,
Now we were a little bit later in season because we didn't want to go up there. I got nothing for hunting in snow and cold, but it was still in the 40s and raining while we were there. But we was there like the second week of May or right around. Well, we was up there on my birthday, right?
Yeah.
My birthday's May 8th, so. And it was cold, and they said we was a little bit late and to come earlier if we come back, but we ain't been back. But
All of my places here I've lost over the years, man. Man, West Blockton, I had some places out West Blockton that were so good. And Yellowleaf Creek, I lost it. I've killed 60 turkeys out there probably. I've killed turkeys all around here, but I've lost a lot of my spots. It's getting harder and harder to find them. So, I just keep on every year, something new.
Well, we've got, how do we really know how many turkey hunters we have? Just resident turkey hunters. There's no way of really gauging it other than by turkeys killed, but compare Alabama to Kansas or South Dakota or somewhere like that. There's no hunters. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, in South Dakota, if they had 2,500 They sold 2,500 resident tags last year, and they sold 3,200 out of state, and the resident hunters are throwing a fit about it. Like, the out of state people was going to come in and kill all their turkeys. Well, let me tell you, South Dakota's a big state.
Yeah,
and there is
a lot of
there ain't no way
features.
no way 3,000 hunters over their season would hurt them when they're not even, when there's not even but 2,500 of them to begin with, and most of them, well, I guess a lot of them hunt the Black Hills and that kind of stuff, and that's where we were at. As a matter of fact, me and my wife's headed back out there in September. I loved it so much. That's where our vacation is this year. We're going to fly out there and stay in the same cabins we stayed in, and she's going to go see the Mount Rushmore and that kind of stuff. But now I found out a second thing. I've been kind of doing a little research and stuff and things to do in the fall, and the elk's supposed to be bugling. It's their rut starts. So I've never heard an elk in the wild bugle, and I'm going to be in Custer State Park at daylight. I done told her, you better be ready to get up and go, because once I see a herd of elk, that's where I'm going to be sitting the next morning. I want to hear it. I want to see it. I've never done it. I'd love to elk hunt, because, everybody says elk hunting's just turkey hunting on steroids, because, you're calling them in. And of course, I don't have that kind of money I'll never get to elk hunt. I don't ever see that. Unless somebody wanted to be charitable and give me a hunt one of these days, but I can't see spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. My God, I mean, I could turkey hunt the rest of my life on that.
I'm telling you, man.
And I've still not ever hunted anything that's made my heart beat faster or me breathe harder than a turkey, especially one when he gobbles and he's close. I'm just about deaf now in one ear. I can't hear him drum like I used to. And that was my favorite thing to hear. But, it's a people that haven't done it, just they don't they can't comprehend it until they do it. And
you see, we learn so much here too in Alabama. Hunting like cutovers and stuff. And there was a bird one year. It was every time it rained, he'd fly out to this cutover, and it was just a little bitty spot open in the cutover. Every bit around it was real thick. So he would fly out there, and then he'd fly back to the tree. So it would rain. I couldn't figure him out. I just gone out there and just got lucky one day and seen tracks. So I hunted and he never come out there. When it rained, he would fly out there. I figured it out, and the first day it rained, I was out there like 2 o'clock in the morning waiting on him. And sure enough, I never called. I had the gun sitting there pointed right when it got daybreak and everything. I don't owl hoot. I never owl hoot no more, because I used to, and I just don't really want people to know where I'm at, stuff like that. So I just kind of let Mother Nature take its course in the morning. Well, I was sitting there, and sure enough, I could just about hear him coming. He flew right in front of me. I never moved the gun and squeezed the trigger. And so that turkey I never really called. It was just amazing hunting. It was woodsmanship. I knew that turkey was going to be out there if it rained. And I took a chance, because he was not going to go around that little spot there, because it was too thick. He wasn't going to go in there. So I took a chance and did it and killed that turkey. And then I won a Yeti cooler, on some kind of turkey hunt I entered, and went over there, and it was the second biggest turkey killed and that day. And so I won like a $400 Yeti cooler. I was proud of that turkey, because, it took woodsmanship. So turkey hunting's a lot of woodsmanship. So if I went somewhere new, I'd have to go in there, and first thing I'd do was scout, and I'd find tracks and kind of see where he was roosting at and stuff like that, where he's feeding, and kind of put 2 and 2 together. I'm not a great caller.
Calling's probably the smallest part of it. I think woodsmanship is your main thing. If you got that figured out, you can get on the turkey if he's there, if there's a turkey there. But knowing those woods and that terrain, I think that's the most important part of turkey hunting. Other than being able to sit still, there's still and there's turkey still. All my kids are grown now. I got a 30-something-year-old and one that'll be 30. I think his birthday, and that was my biggest thing with them when they'd sit down with me, and especially when they got too big to sit between my legs. If they're sitting on a tree beside me, I'm looking over there, and there he is scratching his knee or turning his head, and I was real hard on them. I was probably too hard, Man, you just blew it. That turkey was right there. He seen you. I don't know if it's seen him or not.
I got a picture this year of Jake. He's turning around. He's got his little face mask pulled down, and he's got a Rice Krispie treat, and his cheeks are puffed out. He's sitting there eating it with all his face showing, and I took a picture of him. It wasn't like 5 or 10 minutes later, he killed a big old gobbler. And I was just thinking, it's just sometimes you just had to put it in God's hands. But he was sitting there chomping on that Rice Krispie treat, and I took a picture, and I'll show it to you. And his face is showing. He's between my legs, and it's a cute picture, And it was no time. Right when he finished it, I said, "Put your mask on, buddy. Sit still." And we hit a few licks and called, and then turkeys come in there, and he got him one. So
yeah,
he's got 4 so far.
My oldest one, everything came easy to him. His first deer, his first buck, everything, first turkey. Mine didn't know that spring break meant you're supposed to go to the beach. They thought that was the week we went to the hunting club turkey hunting. So
yes, sir.
I carried, when Christian killed his first turkey, I would alternate them. I'd let one sleep in, and we'd go hunt that morning, and then the next morning in the afternoons we'd all go. It's more of a scout type thing anyway. Try to roost one, and Christian had killed his turkey, and boy, that youngest of mine, Caleb, he was so mad. He was just, "I'm going home. I want to go home right now. I can't believe he killed a turkey." And then I said, "Well, you get yours." Well, it didn't come easy. It took another couple of seasons to get him on one. And he had actually, we called up a group of Jakes, and I didn't care what he shot, And we had 4 Jakes, and they come in hard to his right, and he had to shoot left-handed, and he missed. And he was over there squalling. He couldn't have been more than 10. He might not even been 10. Then he looked at me, he said, "God don't want me to kill a turkey." And I said, "Son, I don't think God cares if you kill a turkey or not." I said, "All you need to know is God taught you a lesson today." And I said, "He taught me a lesson too. We won't be shooting left-handed at no turkeys right now." He was just too small. And then I'm going to tell you, though, once that boy killed his first one, he was on fire after that. I mean, I killed one of my biggest turkeys I ever killed. Matter of fact, he's mounted. I got him downstairs. He sits behind my wife. She works from home. She does pharmaceutical software stuff, and all of her, they Zoom call all the time, and she decorates him for Christmas and Halloween and all that kind of stuff. So we get our studio done. I want to move him out there, and she said, "Well, I'm gonna have a lot of people upset if that turkey leaves out from behind my desk." But
just have to kill him on another one.
Well, I know. And when I killed that one, he was so big and heavy and almost 1.5 inch spurs. And I told Caleb then that back then it was just me and him. Then his brother had decided he liked to chase girls more than turkeys. And I said, when I had him there at the camp and before I I didn't clean him when I had him, I said, "Look at this turkey." I said, "That's a once in a lifetime turkey in Alabama." I said, "You might not see another one ever like this one again." And I'll be doggone. Not that day, but that next day, that evening, he went out. I had him set up in the blind, and he went out about 2:00. He got in that blind, and he killed one. It was just as big or bigger. And he said, "Look at there, Daddy. That's another once-in-a-lifetime turkey. You told me I'd never see one of them again." And I said, "That's all right. He ain't getting mounted, but mine is." And, of course, we fixed him up a real nice thing. I made him a wing bone call out of the wings, and he still, of course, he's at wherever he's living in North Carolina now. And I said, "You still got your turkey fan and feet?" And he said, "Yes, sir. That wing bone's still up there hanging right between them." And I said, "Well, good." So he said, I'll have that forever. So I hope when I'm long gone, he can still look at that and remember all that kind of hunting. But he's killed a bunch since then. Yeah, he did. He don't get to hunt, when you're young, and especially nowadays, it's so hard on these young kids. I don't know how they're going to make it. Things are so expensive. He just don't have time to hunt no more, and trying to raise kids and do his thing. Of course, he's supposed to be sitting hunting me and Dustin a place to come hunt over there. I told him, I said, "We got to have our North Carolina birds. You got to find us a place to hunt." And he said, "As long as I can go with you." And I said, you can go with us. I said, because he don't get to even come over here and hunt with me no more. And so I'll tell you, enjoy them kids while they're little, because it goes so fast. I mean, next thing you know, like I said, I got a grandkid. I have not carried Jackson. He's my autistic grandkid. I got 2 grandsons, 3 granddaughters. And noise bothers him so bad. I've been afraid to take him. I don't know how he'll react. I mean, I've had him in movie theaters and had to leave with him because things got loud and the lights flashing and that kind of stuff. You know, there's different autism. It's different for every one of them. Seems like there's a little bit different. You know, he smart as can be, but those loud noises and flashing lights he just can't take it. And so I told him he wants to shoot and that kind of stuff. And I told him this year, I said, I'll have the earmuffs on him and we'll start shooting a little 22 and that kind of stuff. So I hope I can get to take him with me this time. Cause I hunt solo other than me and Dustin hunting. So I hope to get
That's me too.
So
usually just hunt by myself or with Jake.
Well,
Hey, you there?
yeah, I'm here. I was just sitting here thinking, man, we have covered a lot of stuff tonight, and I've learned a whole lot more than just a Hammer Time, Wild Man's Hammer Time. I didn't know actually until we started this little preview talk we had before we started how passionate you was on this. We're gonna have to try to all get together one of these days and do a hunt.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows me for years. Turkeys. I never studied. I like deer hunting and all that, but man, just like y'all, just turkeys all the time. Trapping is important, but I started because of turkeys,
Well, I tell people all the time, I don't hate deer no more. My club, it's sold. I got 3,500 acres we hunted. I've been in it since 98. But they cut all the timber and all the turkeys are gone now. And I bought 40 acres up the road and I finally got me some turkeys on it. And if you look around, I post a few pictures here and there. Matter of fact, I got blistered the other day because I put out a feeder. I just had to see them turkeys, and it's just a scratch feed and that kind of stuff. It's for the turkeys. It ain't for the deer. But
Beautiful.
I had to turn the commenting off. I was getting so aggravated that, people, you getting them killed. I'm going, look, them turkeys didn't even have an opening to get in until last year when I hired, and it cost me a lot of money to get a dozer in there to push out all these green fields on that little place. And I'm going to feed them and try to help them. Cause I don't think if you ain't trying to help them, you're hurting them in my book. So that's all. I don't care nothing about killing deer down there. My sons can go down there and kill, or buddies. I don't care. But when it comes to turkeys, that's all I'm interested in. It's only 40 acres, but two sides of it backs up into the Talladega National Forest. And I figured if I can make it a turkey oasis, I can get me one or two down there, I'll be happy.
Oh, every year, if I can just get one turkey, I'm happy. And now it's if I can get one turkey and if he can get one turkey, that's all,
That's right.
You don't have to be greedy.
No,
you know what I mean?
You don't have to limit out every year. And like I said, some of mine and Dustin's best hunts, we hunted with Eddie Salter. We went on a hunt down in Florida. Actually, we hunted with him a couple of years. Was it that first year we was down there when all that went on? We had a hunt. Yeah. And there was turkeys everywhere. We're set up together on this monster oak tree in this swamp, and Eddie's back behind us. Him and Steve Green, this other guy that he does southern grown hunting. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Eddie's calling, and these turkeys are gobbling, and he's making sounds I've never heard, and he made a sound nobody had ever heard. I don't know what it was. Dustin looked at me, he said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard that." And anyway, no turkeys was killed. And when we got up and got back together with them, even Steve, who has hunted with Eddie for years and years and years, he said, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that sound he made?" I said, "Yeah, we were talking about that." And we looked at Eddie and go, what was that sound you made? And he said, I don't know. He said, sometimes it just comes out. He said, "I've been around turkeys my whole life, and when I get to going," he said, "sometimes I make a call that I don't even know I'm making." And it was the most amazing thing. It was the most amazing hunt I believe I've ever been on. And not a turkey was killed that day. And I would do it again in a heartbeat, not knowing I wasn't going to kill one if I could just hear what went on, between him and those turkeys.
I would have loved to have had, even if you didn't have video, because these gobblers, they were crossing like an interstate. They were out of shotgun range, but there was just birds gobbling and moving everywhere when he was doing all this calling. I mean, he had every bird there fired up, and I would love to have had the audio of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just the audio recording would have been awesome.
And he's such a super guy. I would have never. He was one of my turkey hunting heroes when I first started into the. In my early. I didn't turkey hunt until I was in my early 20s, because I was a deer hunting guy. Deer, and I. Nobody turkey hunt. I didn't know a turkey hunter, and there wasn't no YouTube to learn from. There wasn't. If you knew a turkey hunter, he wouldn't tell you nothing.
Lucky that tall, skinny, lanky boy in ninth grade took me. You know what I'm saying?
He was too young to know not to tell you nothing, though, and take you out there and let you hunt.
Classmate, yep. And my buddy Richard Brown, me and him, we had some great hunts back then. Learned a lot and didn't really know what we was doing. Only used box calls, and then moved to mouth calls. Didn't know what we was doing, and I wouldn't call much because I didn't think I sounded good, and watched Ben Rogers-Lee all the time, learning from him. That was my hero. That was my hero right there. And Eddie Salter, of course. I love Eddie. I consider him a friend every time I go see him. But
yes,
I
love him. I love him to death. I mean, he calls me all the time. He'll just call me up. I was on my way to pick up some building supplies. What's that?
That's awesome. See, that's really awesome.
So he
knows me, but he doesn't call me.
He called me up. I was going down the road and I see Eddie Salter name. Hey. I said, hey, what's going on? I hadn't talked to you since season was over. How'd you know Dustin do? I know y'all was hunting Kentucky, and I said, well, we didn't kill nothing in Kentucky. We killed in Tennessee, and we killed here in Alabama, or I killed in Alabama. Dustin he killed a tree, and I said, we went to Oklahoma and struck out. The only thing that got killed in Oklahoma was us. We got stuck in the middle of a horrendous thunderstorm with giant hail and tornadoes, and there was nowhere to go. We were stuck in a little ground blind, tied to a barbed wire fence. It was one of the scariest things I ever went through in my life. Dustin thought he was dead. He was over there praying. I thought he was going to start preaching. I didn't even know he was, had preaching in him, but he did.
It got serious.
It was bad. I mean, it was that May, the weekend May, that all those tornadoes hit in Oklahoma, and we knew better. Everybody on earth, people that I didn't even know that knew I was in Oklahoma, was texting me, y'all don't need to be out. Y'all don't need to be out there hunting. It's going to get bad
all day.
Yeah, I mean, there was tornado warnings all around. I mean, it's clear blue sky, but the wind was blowing 100 miles an hour. And all day the storms passed us. They all went, kind of northeast of us or northwest of us, past us, behind that last storm, though. The wind quit blowing, and it set down on top of us. A big lightning storm come. It was hitting those oil rigs around us. We couldn't leave then because of the lightning, and then the rain started. And the next thing I know, the hail's falling, and then we get a severe thunderstorm warning, and I read softball size hail possible, and it started hailing, but it wasn't that big. It did get golf ball size. It never came through the blinds on us. With side by side, and 85 mile an hour straight line winds for at least 15 minutes. I'm telling you, it collapsed his blind in on him. His arm was all beat up. He'd done texted his wife, told her he loved her, and kissed the kids he thought was dying. He was shielding me from most of it because he was to my right, and that's where all the wind and hail was coming from. So it was serious. The guy, he wasn't our guide. He really didn't guide. He just had that land access, and he texted us probably an hour or two before that and said, hey, y'all know there's tornado chasers parked about 2 miles down the road from you. That should have been our sign, but no, not the idiot turkey hunters. Hey. We come to kill, and we was going to hunt no matter what. When you spend the money, you can't go sit in a house or a hotel.
You only got so many days to get it done.
Right. So,
yep.
But we learned a valuable lesson. I won't be doing that again.
No,
not like that.
We'll just rest up on that day.
So, but anyway.
My wife says I always put pressure on myself. We've been married for a long time, and she said every time you put so much pressure on yourself to kill one, and I do. And then last 2 or 3 years, well, really 3 years with Jake, the pressure's not there. I don't care as long as I get one and he gets one. Man, that is the best feeling. So it's all about memories. And I left one this year, kind of on purpose, but I left a tag all the way to the last day. And I said I'd kill him on the last day, but he gobbled, and it was not where I thought. And I went after him, and it took me about almost an hour to get there. When I got there, there was tracks in the dirt road there, but he never came to me, and I sat there the rest of the day. Well, I decided to go back thinking he went to where I started calling the first time, and I went over there. He gobbled one more time where he was, and I never did kill that bird. So he'll be there next year opening day.
There you go.
But it's all about the experience. And
That's right.
stuff like that. Man, one day, I just got to tell you this quick story, man. This is one of my best hunts of my life. Well, down here we got a lot of short pines and stuff like that, and I was hunting some of those, and I really couldn't find no tall trees where I had permission to hunt at. But there was turkeys coming through there and crossing and everything like that, so I went in there and hunted one day. Around daybreak, like I said, I let Mother Nature take its course, and I said, I'm not going to call just yet. I want to see what's around me. And I waited, and it got around, 7:15, I finally just let out a soft tree yelp. I heard one right back, a soft tree yelp, and it wasn't but 40 or 50 yards from me. Next thing I know, I heard bark and wings flapping. Well, a hen flew right off of her tree and landed in my tree. I'm talking about these pine trees are very small. Bark started falling all on top of me. She was above me, and my lip was quivering, my eyes, and I was just nervous. She was so close to me. She even pooped on my leg, man. That was awesome. I'll never forget that. She pooped on my leg, and I said, this is life. And anyways, by that time, another one flapped his wings and flew right in front of me. Another one. I'm talking about, it was like 17 of them, I think I remember, 17 hens in this little bitty short pine thicket, and they just all come around me. And they started just walking all around me. The lead hen was walking in circles around the tree. And I had some brand new mossy elk on that, and I was just happy, to have it on. And anyways, they walked around and all decided to leave, and I never made another call. Well, I saw red wattles about 50 yards away. All I could see was red right past this little hill. Couldn't see below that. So I'm sitting there watching that red. I couldn't tell if it was a wattle or a red bird and stuff like that. I'm just looking, and all of a sudden I seen it move, and it was a big gobbler, and he was coming up that hill, just one. And all them hens decided to take a left and go over the hill away from me. And he was kind of like following. He was strutting. He was just strutting. Man, I was just sitting there. I said, I can't make this shot, So I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to move. They were all around me, and they just kind of one by one went over that hill. When the last one about disappeared, I made a soft call, and he looked at me, and he decided to strut, and he come over that hill, gave me a good shot, man, and I shot him. And it was like just, one of the best hunts that anybody had ever experienced. And that was just just public land, cheap, hunt right there, and it was amazing. I'll never forget that hunt. I got some of them that goes on, and I could talk forever about it. I ain't gonna take all y'all's time, but man, it's amazing. I can relive all these stories telling y'all about it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
just
yeah.
like y'all telling me. It's amazing what turkey hunting.
It
that
is.
Well, we definitely need to try to get together and sit around, chew the fat one day, and tell some stories, and try to maybe go on a hunt together or something. And if nothing else, we definitely need to get you on deer and turkey season next year.
Yes. Well,
And we'll talk turkey or leading up to it. We may try to have some different folks on. You would be a great one to have on, and we can kind of get led up to turkey season.
Well, I appreciate it, fellas. It's been a blast. And y'all just holler anytime y'all need me.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
do it.
Likewise.
We'll do it. And like I said, I know we've held you. We was late because of some technical troubles, but we appreciate your patience waiting on us. And it's been an hour here. Is there anything you want to tell anybody or mention about your baits and before we get out of here, or
Well, if anybody wants any of that Wild Man's Hammer Time bait or lure, just look Jerry James Smith up on Facebook, and that'd be the easiest way to message me until we get our website going. It's not going to take a little bit longer to get it going, but it's in the works right now. So just do that, and that'd be the easiest way. Or if you want to choke, and I can give you a discount on the choke anytime, a Jeb's choke. But
Okay. That's
anything
good.
like
That's
that,
good
y'all-
to know. That's good to know. I mean,
yes, sir. They let me give my friends out, discounts and stuff like that. Just help them out and helps me out. So it's fun and keeps me interacting with some of the best turkey hunters in the world. And man, it's just Jeb's has really grew as a company, and I've been there for a long time, so it's been really neat watching them grow. And so that's about it. Simple life.
well,
Love it. Thank you.
well, we appreciate you being on, and we'll definitely have you back on again. Anybody that got turkey stories to tell, we want to sit and listen to them because we love it. We love it.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be down in
yeah.
Tuscaloosa. I don't know if you get out much like that, but we're going to be they got a big turkey calling contest Saturday week down there at Woods and Water. You might want to get that boy out and bring him down and hang out with us some down there. We're just hanging out. We ain't calling because I don't call in contests, but like I said, we do have us a girl we're sponsoring down there. She's going to be calling. And we got some good friends with Talk About It Outdoors and stuff like that. They're going to be over from Georgia. We'll get to see them. So if you get out and about, get bored, come on down there and hang out with us.
Is Eddie going to do it again this year? Does he do it?
I don't know. I didn't even think to ask him this weekend if he was going to be there or not. But I know all the young guns going to be there. The Dave Owens, he's going to be there, and I
get to talk.
Van Zeiss will be there, and I don't know. They're going to. It's the Legends thing. I'm assuming they're going to be some. Preston Pittman or somebody will be there.
Oh yeah, they're usually been there 2 or 3 times over the years, and get to eat pizza with Eddie Salter in the back, and that's fun. Stuff like that. I would never call in front of people like that. But
no, I know. We were we ran it. We I'll tell you that real quick. We was eating dinner one night, and Alex Rutledge showed up. Was down in Florida, so we had Alex Rutledge and Eddie Salter in there, and they're both bragging on their calls. And Alex tossed me one of his calls. Hold on that thing. Show us what it'll do. And I said, no, sir. Not with you two here. I'm not going to be blowing on no mouth call. So it was a great time. But anyway, we ain't gonna hold you up no longer. I mean, we've had you over here over an hour now, and I know it's getting late, and Dustin's got to get home, and some of y'all have to work tomorrow. I'm getting up and driving to the beach, so
yeah. I got to get up and work.
So, but we really appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Oh, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all, really. I enjoyed it.
Nice talking with you, Jared.
Yes, sir, buddy. Y'all too, man.
All right.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you.
Well, now, wasn't that a good, of course, I like that rabbit hole. We're still recording. Put them back on. We ain't done. We ain't done yet.
My ears, they were squeezed. I was going to get a relief.
Well, okay. Well, you could still hear me. But I thought that was a fun one. I hope everybody enjoyed that. That is a good guy right there. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up unless you got something you want to bring up and talk.
No, I look forward to seeing everybody August 3rd.
August 3rd, then we'll be August 10th at the bow shoot over in Walaska, Georgia, with a Talk About It boys. And, tell your friends about this podcast. Get out there and follow us if you're not following us, and leave us a review. That's the biggest thing you can do. That gets the word out on our podcast more than anything. And we appreciate everybody that's listening now, and everybody that's spread the word for us up to now. And if you ain't got anything else,
I think that's a wrap.
all right. We'll talk to you next week. Meeting Two Nation.